Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Rita. Here I talk about life in the UK. I share information on relocation. I also share information on latest updates on immigration in the UK. So if this is what might interest you, kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and be part of my YouTube family. In today's video, I actually bring good news, guys. Yes. If you've been watching the news lately, there's so much going on. UK is always in the news, not for any reason, about their immigration policies. They're about to change this one, implement this one. There's been news that they want to reduce the post-study visa from 2 years to 6 months. They want to also stop the dependent visa and so many things, guys. But in today's video, I actually bring good news. If you're a student in the UK or you're probably living in the UK, we all know that as an international student, you're not allowed to work more than 20 hours in a week. There's a restriction on your work permit. So a lot of students in the UK are not satisfied with this because they feel like this work restriction is not helping them, because let's face the truth, a lot of them coming to the UK, we all know that the UK is really expensive. We always have so many bills to pay, like gas, electricity, council tax and whatnot. So guys, there's always tons and tons of bills to pay in the UK, and this it goes for everyone, whether you're international students or you're just working in the UK. You definitely have to pay bills, and so many people struggle, especially international students, because they feel like they can't work more hours, and meeting up with bills becomes a struggle for them. Those probably come to the UK without completing their school fees, thinking that when they come into the UK, they'll work and study in order to, pay their school fees. So a lot of them come and face that there's actually restriction of hours you can work, and this makes them to struggle to meet up with bills and, pay school fees. But recently, we also know that the UK has been suffering due to Brexit, due to the pandemic. Lots of people has actually left it, and the UK is suffering all sector, including the health sector, which we recently know that they actually came up with a health and care visa, allowed foreign migrants to come into the UK to work as healthcare assistants, support workers, senior carers, because the health sector is actually suffering. And then also recently, we all know that the UK is actually looking for teachers to come into the UK to take up teaching jobs in the nursery, secondary, and all the schools in the UK. So right now, the UK is actually suffering from shortage of workers due to Brexit. The Prime Minister is actually considering if to remove the work restriction on the national student visa, which could only allow them to work 20 hours. He's considering to increase it from 20 hours to 30 hours, or probably remove it. There should not be any restriction on a student visa, because he probably wants students to work full-time. He feels like this is the only way he can help the sectors that are suffering, so that international students can actually work more hours to help the UK, all the sectors that are actually suffering from the shortage of workers. This is not finalized, because we know definitely only him cannot really make that decision. He has to sit with other decision makers, ministers and all that, to see if this is actually everybody will agree with. So in the moment, he's just still considering if this is what he should do. The UK Educational Board against this policy, because they feel like if you remove the work restriction, which was actually what makes the student to be serious with their studies, because they know that seriously, in order to get the post-study visa, you can only get if you pass all your courses and then graduate. They feel like if this restriction is removed, the students will not be serious with their studies. They'll probably want to work full-time and then abandon their studies, which in turn will affect the UK educational standard. A lot of international students come to the UK because of the educational standard, which everybody all over the world know that the UK is really good in. Their fear is that if they remove this restriction, the students are not going to be taking their studies seriously, because let's face it, we all know that Nigerians come to the UK. Some of the Nigerians in the UK are not actually, everybody just come because of the post-study visa, and probably because they want to work and study at the same time. So imagine removing this restriction. That means that license for students to work full-time and all that So guys, I just feel like this is a news worth sharing. My opinion concerning this whole issue is that I feel it is good news in a sense that those students that are struggling in the UK are able to pay their bills and live better, and also agree with the educational board, because I feel like if they remove this restriction, a lot of Nigerians, a lot of international students, not just Nigerians, are not going to take their studies serious. It's going to affect the educational standard of the UK. Maybe not now, but later in the future. And I also want to advise that if you want to come to the UK, this is the right time for you to come, because the UK policy is always changing. Next minute, we might hear that they want to abort the post-study visa entirely. So guys, if you want to come to the UK, try your best to come to the UK now, because we are not sure, and they might implement it, they might not implement it, because it's always changing, guys. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and be part of my YouTube family, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.